All right, hello everyone. We are live here on Facebook. This is Jake Adams, CPA. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of a high-level overview than some of the other videos that we're going to be doing. But today what we're going to be talking about is planning your marketing. Now, this is so incredibly important because if you are just kind of like out there just doing everything, you never really know if what you're doing is working, or if you're doing what is the right thing to be doing, if that makes sense, right? So it's so important to plan your marketing before you get started with marketing, because we want to make sure, do we have the marketing budget for this? How long are we going to be doing the marketing for? Are we marketing the right people? You know, the last thing I want to do is see you lose money on marketing. So it's really important to plan this out and make sure that we're marketing to the right people, to the right places, at the right areas, and make sure that it fits right for you, right? So one thing that I cover a lot in my marketing videos is time and money. Now, this is the two biggest constraints that most small business owners have. And if you're a solo practitioner or a small business owner, you understand how this is. You're either struggling with one or those two things. And once you get the perfect balance between those two things, then you're either growing your business and it requires more time, or you're just kind of coasting and you've got a great business that you've created, right? So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, you're either struggling with one of two things. You're either struggling with time or you're struggling with money. So I want you to take a second and really be true and honest to yourself and say, how much time do I have to invest in marketing? And how much money do I have to invest in marketing? And if I invest $1 into marketing, what is the return that I want out of it? Right? If you invest a minute of time or an hour of time or $1 of money into this marketing campaign, what do you want to get out of it? Right? So that's so critical, important. Before we go further with anything else, I want you to say and be honest with yourself as far as if you invest an hour of time, what kind of return do you want to get out of it? If you invest 10 hours of time or 100 hours of time, do you have that honestly, do you have that time to invest in your marketing? And then if you invest money, how much money are you willing to invest? And if you invest X number of dollars, how much return do you want to get out of it? Why? Right? So I hope that makes sense. All right, so we're going to look at this on a graphical, if you will. And this is if you have more time, and this is if you have less time. And then this is if you have less money, and this is if you have more money, right? So up here in the corner is this perfect balance between having the most amount of time and the most amount of money, right? So this up here is the most amount of money. I'll kind of go with this so you can kind of see it, right? So this is the most money and then the most time. Okay, and I hope that's big enough to see. All right, and then down here on the bottom is, of course, the least amount of money and the least amount of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started with looking at this kind of from down here, and then we'll work our way upwards. So if you're struggling with both time and money, we're going to go and get started right now. If you've not struggling with time or money, if you've got money to invest in marketing, just go ahead and maybe fast forward 5 or 10 minutes until I start drawing out into these places. And then if you're like a perfect balance, you're like, hey, Jake, I want to get to the top. Like, where do I go? I'm already at the top, like, but I want to go higher. Where do I go? Just wait till I start going up here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And if anything I'm talking about down here resonates with you and you want to get started with it, just go ahead and close out the video. You don't have to watch the whole video. I don't want to overwhelm you with any of the other stuff over here. So make sure that you're watching where this fits and where it's applicable to you. Okay. All right. So first of all, time and money. So if you don't have any time, if you're struggling with time and money, what you're going to do is you're going to be down here. So what I want you to do is start looking into Facebook. And you're going to be doing some cold outreach with Facebook. Now, once you figure out, so I want you to go through the first 5 days where we have figure out the target market and your core offer, and like how you're going to be presenting this to clients. Take the time and really do that, because if you're not doing that and you're just out there scrambling for clients, you're more likely going to get the wrong clients, and I don't want to see that. You know, I really want you to to work on that core offer and say, hey, this is the best value that I can offer my clients, and this is how I'm going to present myself in the marketplace to other business owners. And I want to be able to be properly compensated for the value that I'm creating and not just doing tax returns. All right. So once you've done that, what I want you to do is focus here, and we're going to put cold Facebook. So I've got a video specifically for this. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to go onto Facebook and you're going to pages. So let's say you want to work with car repair shops, right? Auto repair shops. And so you go on to Facebook and you say, hey, Facebook, show me all the auto repair shops near me. Or you go on Facebook, auto repair shops near me. And what it allows you to do is search for all the auto repair shops near you. And then when you go to that page for the auto repair shop, it's going to have a little message, right? It says send a message. So what you can do is you can just click on that button, send a message. And what happens is it goes straight to the auto repair shop. Now, more than likely, a decision maker is going to be answering that. I mean, it could be, an admin or, I hate to use the word secretary, but an admin or administrative assistant or someone that's kind of running the front. But that person's going to see that. And if you say, hey, I want to help you save money on taxes, or, hey, if your books are a mess or something like that, right? They're going to be able to say, hey, yes, I resonate with that message. And I'm going to make sure that that message is passed on to the decision maker. Or you might get the decision maker directly. It might go straight to their phone and they're like, hey, I'm on Facebook. It's going to do my Facebook. That's okay, right? So that's the easiest way, because if you don't have very much time or money, what it's doing is it's saying, hey, we're going straight to the decision maker. It's going straight to Facebook. We're going straight to our ideal client or target market. It doesn't cost us anything to jump onto Facebook and find those people, right? And find that audience. So I hope that makes sense. So they're straight off the bat, this is a great way of getting new clients. And yeah, you could build out a book of business 20, 30 strong in just a couple of hours, right? Because all it is just typing messages into Facebook. Let me put a caveat to that, because if you send out the same message too many times in Facebook, Facebook thinks that you're spamming and they'll stop you from doing that. So you're probably not going to be able to get 20 to 30 or send out more than 40 or 50 messages in an hour. You want to kind of space that out. And if you can do that over a course of a day, that's actually better. So a small caveat to, get tons of clients in an hour. Now, you want to kind of space it out because you don't want to get flagged by Facebook. They don't want to think you're a bot that's trying to spam people. Make sure that all the messages that you're sending are all customized as well. So like I said, I've got a whole video on that. So just watch that. So that's cold Facebook. The next thing we want to do is if we have a little bit more money, what we can do is we can actually purchase a list. And then we can start sending newsletters or e-newsletters and things like that, right? So if we have a little bit more money, we can actually buy a list. So you can buy a list, and you can call, or you can email, or you can send them a newsletter. You can do lots of different things, right? And then call or send. I'll just put send something. Right, because there's lots and lots of different things that you can send. So why does this require a little bit more time than this? Well, you have to actually find someone to buy the list from, and then create some sort of content to be able to send them. Right now, this is better because it's positioning yourself as an expert more than just a cold Facebook message. Because the cold Facebook message, it's got to be kind of short and sweet. You're just kind of, hey, can I get a decision maker to reach back out to me? Can I get someone to say, yes, I'll meet with you. Yes, I'll get on the phone with you. So it's a little bit more quick to do this. This takes a little bit more time. It also costs money because you want to buy a list. You want to make sure you get a good list. And I hope that makes sense, right? So if you have less money, but a little bit more time, you can create your own list, right? So how do you do this? Well, I did a video for real estate agents, right? So if you want to focus on real estate agents and start reaching out to real estate agents, you can go on to Redfin or Realtor.com or any of those. You can get a listing of all the active, you can get a list of all the active properties, all the active listings in your area, and it tells you who that agent is and who the selling agent is. So literally, and on this video, I pulled up Redfin and I showed you how to get access to like 100 or more real estate agents. And it gives you their phone number and their email address. And of course, you can go to their website and you can get more information. Like how to contact them. Sometimes they have a contact form in their website instead of their email address. So if you just have to type in their contact form, you can do that. It takes a little bit more time, but it's easier. All right, and then that is creating a list. You can kind of create your own list. Create own list. And then you can, of course, call them or you can send them. The cool thing about calling real estate agents is they always answer their phone, right? If they're available, they're always answering their phone, because when their phone rings, that's a new potential client for them. Consultants are very similar as well. Consultants usually always answer their phone if they're available, right? Because it could be a new client, could be a potential new client. So you can call them something, you can call them, or you can send them something. And then sending something is just like a newsletter, either printed or emailed, or some sort of email that says, "Hey, I'm introducing myself." Right? We have some of those scripts to help you out. Now, if you have, let's see, I'm kind of going off this kind of blank. So give me a second here. Okay. Okay, so next, if you have more time but less money, one of the things I want to talk about is Facebook Organic. And there's also LinkedIn Organic, and you can use some LinkedIn helpers to help you out. But right now, they're actually cracking down on LinkedIn helpers. So trying to automate this could actually potentially backfire on you. So if you're going to be using any kind of LinkedIn automation software, make sure you review that. Make sure that that's acceptable to LinkedIn before you start using a lot of their software, a lot of that helper software, right? So if you have more time but not a lot of money, right here you can do the Facebook Organic. And I'm just going to put here Facebook Organic. We've got a whole video, 20, 30, 40, 60 minutes long, about Facebook Organic and how to do that. But essentially, it's a 3-step process. It is going onto your profile and Facebook, and I'll put Facebook and LinkedIn kind of, because it's kind of the same thing, right? So first of all, it's a 3-step process. So first of all, you go onto your profile and you clean up your profile. So you should have a clean picture, a business professional picture of yourself on both your Facebook and your LinkedIn. If it's the same picture, that's even better. And then you're going to have some sort of cover art. And the cover art should have some sort of call to action for your target market. So if you're focusing on chiropractors, then on your cover art, it should say, Jake Adams helping chiropractors save $10,000 or more on their taxes. Click here to learn more, right? And if they click there, then you have the description on the side that they can get more information about you and what you do, right? So optimizing your Facebook and your LinkedIn profiles are so critical and important, right? And make sure that you're optimizing these at least every month, because they're changing around. A great example is Facebook changed where the things lie on the personal profile page. So before we had our image, and then we said, for more information about me, click here, and we had a little down arrow because that was where the link is. Well, Facebook they changed the link and they moved the link up on top of the pictures. So if you haven't optimized it, if you haven't checked that recently, then your arrow could be pointing to the wrong place. You could have the link up here, but the arrow's pointing down. So you want to go and change your image so the arrow's pointing up. So like I was going with that is just, hey, check it every month and just make sure that you're looking at your profile page and make sure that everything looks good. And then your arrows are pointing to the right place and your links are going to the right places and things like that, right? Okay, so Facebook. Okay, then number 2 is add friends. Right, so Facebook will limit you how many people you add as friends on a day. So add as many people as you can as friends. And then the same thing with LinkedIn. LinkedIn will actually show you the level of connection. So their first level connection or second or third. Facebook does a similar thing where they say, how many mutual friends do you have? So if someone has over 100 mutual friends as me and they add me on Facebook as a friend, I'll usually always accept that. But if I don't have any, or maybe just one mutual friend, I'll go into their personal profile and I'll look at it before I accept their request. So this helps you in 2 different ways. Number 1, if you're sending out friend requests and people like myself look at your profile before they accept your friend request, what are they going to do? Well, going back to number 1, they're going to see your personal profile and they're going to say, hey, this is this person, this is what they do. Okay, this is cool. I want more information about that. And if they have time, they'll actually learn more about you at that point because you've sent them a friend request, right? Because it's, Facebook is notifying or LinkedIn is notifying them that you've sent them a friend request or a network connection request, right? So number two, that's what you do. Is you just friend requests and network connect as many people as you can, right? Without going against the terms of service. And of course, LinkedIn and Facebook will let you know if you're going against terms of service. And will say, hey, you're doing too many, right? Stop. And then they'll let you know. And at that point, you just stop and just say, hey, I'm going to come back to this next day. And then the third step on this strategy is going into groups and pages. So essentially, you're going to go in and like people's pages. So if you're looking for dentists, you'll go through and you'll just like a bunch of pages of dentists. Super easy, right? And then you'll go to groups. So you'll go for groups of dentists. So find the entrepreneurial dentist, or entrepreneurial dentists, or dentists conservatory. I don't know, something like that, right? So go through Facebook, go through LinkedIn, and try to find groups full of dentists, and then post value. Again, I've got a video of going through all this stuff. So if you like this, if you've got time, you got a bunch of time but not a lot of money, that's what you're going to want to do. You can also do local stuff, like local chamber of commerces, local BNI meetings, kind of things like that. Now, the problem with BNI is it costs more money. So I'm actually putting these on different kind of levels. So there's local stuff like meetup.com, Eventbrite, local things that are happening that can cost a little bit of money. A great example is like home flippers and real estate investor meetup groups. Right, those are usually on a per event cost, right? So you just go and you pay, I don't know, $5 or $10 to get in. Sometimes you get food, but you want to look for those kind of like, I'm going to call them meetup style groups. So this will be like meetup style, where you go to like meetup.com and you'll say, hey, meetup.com, like what's going on for real estate investors in my area, or what's going on for dentists in my area. And if you don't have anything, then if you don't have a lot of that stuff going on, you can create your own. Right? The only thing is that requires a little bit more time. So if you've got more time, you can create your own. I'll put it here because it costs a little bit of money to get that set up, right? But then you can kind of create your own meetup.com. Not your own website, but meetup, like meetup.com, right? You post it on meetup.com. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so you look for like meetup.com events. So the cool thing about having other people's events is it's their job to fill the room of the audience, right? It's their job to fill the room. It's their job to get the butts and seats. So that's the cool thing with you, is it doesn't take as much time for you because there's someone else out there that it's their job and their responsibility to get butts and seats and get the audience. And if you're talking, let's say, to a group of real estate investors and you are focused on real estate investors, well, you can go there and you can say, hey, I'm a CPA or I'm a tax professional focused on real estate investors. I'd love to speak in front of your group. And they're like, we'd love to have someone talk about tax savings for our group, right? I have the next 1 or 2 scheduled. Maybe can you speak in 2 months or 3 months? And you're like, sure. And then you just go and as long as you're consistent with it, they're like, hey, cool. This person can speak about taxes. They can answer questions, things like that. So yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? So and again, if you don't have a lot of money, this is $5 or $10 to get in, but it does take time. It takes more time because you have to go every week or every 2 weeks as often as they're having the meeting. So the other thing you can do, I usually don't recommend this, but I'm going to put it on there anyway because I enjoyed my time with BNI. I'm not going to say that it's awful, but BNI, LeTip, these kind of networking groups, they require a lot of time. And they also require, like some BNIs require $1,000 or more to get involved. So actually, I'm going to put that over here. Yeah, I'm gonna put it somewhere. Anyway, all right, here. I'm gonna put like BNI, and I probably shouldn't use BNI by name, but most people know BNI and they've seen BNI. But there's also like LeTip, and there's other unaffiliated network groups, but essentially it's a networking group where people get together usually on a weekly basis, and it's passing leads or referral group, right? So BNI, I'm gonna put referral group. Okay. All right. So that's essentially, so yeah, it costs money, right? There's some that are cheaper than others. So this could kind of go back and forth, but it is a significant time investment, usually once a week. Now, the other investment with time with something like this is you've got to meet all of the people in your group. So if there's 30 people in your group, it's an expectation that you're going to meet all 30 of those people in your group, right? So you've got to carve out at least an hour to meet with all 30 of those people in the first, I don't know, couple of weeks, right? So that's another 30 hours plus time, plus travel, plus all that other stuff that comes with it. So yeah, significant time investment. All right, I'm actually going to take this off because this is kind of just like okay, cool. All right, so BNI referral groups. Let me see what else I have on my thing. So sales funnels. So let's talk about sales funnels, and then we'll go into Dream 100. So sales funnels can take a little bit of time, but you can outsource them. So let's go ahead and change. Let's change colors and let's play around with. Let's see here. No, I'll just stick with this. Okay. All right. So let's talk about sales funnels. So sales funnels are really cool because it takes your client through a new client journey, or a client journey, if you will, essentially, right? So does it require a lot of time to set up? Well, it could if you do it your own, but you can outsource this. And I highly recommend that you outsource this because, ClickFunnels, they say that they make building websites really, really easy, but it still can take a significant amount of time. I just built a sales funnel last weekend, and I spent about 2 hours on it. Now, of course, I was writing the copy, and I was moving, and I was getting images and moving things around. But the thing is that even with me, after I built a handful of sales funnels like I have, it still takes me a significant amount of time. So I want you to focus your time on things that are more efficient for you. So outsource those things that you can outsource, right? So if you want to build your own funnels, money is not really, but it takes a lot of time, right? So I'm gonna put here, this takes a lot of time. I'm gonna put build your own funnel, or BYO, build your own funnel. Right? Now, essentially what you do with a sales funnel, you're going to build out this funnel and then create traffic. You can do traffic through Facebook ads, or you can do this as you do the Facebook organic and try to say, hey, I'm going to give you this free cheat sheet if you click here, right? So as you're having that conversation with somebody through Facebook or LinkedIn, you can say, hey, go to this website and get more information. Go to this website and download this cheat sheet or this whatever, right? So you can, once you do that, then you can get people into your funnel, and it gets kind of like a continuity program. If you have a little bit of money, you can hire someone to do this, right? So I'm going to put, it doesn't take a lot of time because you just need to find someone, which is relatively easy. And it's kind of medium way money, right? Usually funnel builders about $3,000 to $5,000 to build out a funnel. So I'm going to put that somewhere right here, right? All right, so I'm going to put right here outsource, or I'll just put outsource funnel. All right, now the cool thing is once you've got this funnel going, it's done, right? It's going to run in perpetuity. It's going to run forever as long as you're paying, the monthly subscription for it, because it's got to be hosted and all that stuff, right? So basically you build it once and it's good to go. And that's really cool because then you can choose the traffic that you want to send it to. So now that we had that conversation, let's have that next conversation about Facebook ads and paying for traffic. Now, this, you can have someone run it for you, or you can run it yourself. If you want to run it yourself, it doesn't take that much time, but you just kind of have to figure out something that's going to be engaging as far as copy, getting people in when they're looking at that ad. So you can do really well on your first one and just like, yeah, this worked really well, or you can try many, many times and not get any traction with any of them. So it really depends on the audience. Is the audience targeted right? Things like that. But I'm going to put it somewhere right here because it costs a little bit less money. I'm going to put right here, Facebook ads, right? So Facebook ads are great because you can point them to different things. So you can run a Facebook ad to a funnel, or you can run a Facebook ad to a list, or you can run Facebook ads to your cold email or to an email sequence. If you have an email sequence going, you're going to Facebook ads to a meetup event. You can run Facebook ads to your own meetup, right? You can run Facebook ads to your own funnel that you've created. So Facebook ads can be going many different ways. And once you do that, you can have them running to something, but you need to have something to run them to. I hope that makes sense. All right, so that's Facebook ads. They don't cost a lot of money, but the thing is they could cost a lot of money getting it tested and getting it optimized, because Facebook is not always helpful getting ads started when you're first getting started with it. Yeah. All right. So Facebook ads. All right. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Dream 100 strategy, which is essentially finding someone that is an already an established expert, already an established authority to your market, to your target market, to your target industry, and reaching out to them and saying, hey, I would like to help your audience. How do I do that? And trying to build a relationship with that person, and trying to figure out as far as how you can add value to their community. And of course, with the goal of their community wanting to reach out to you to become a trusted advisor for them, right? So of course, everyone needs their taxes done. So say you're focused on real estate investors. So there's tons of real estate investor groups and gurus and things like that, right? So there's all the way up at the top, Dean Graziosi, right? Great example. So he has programs and things like that on fix and flips and buy and sold real estate and real estate investing, right? So you could try to reach out to Dean Graziosi and get access to his group, right? But that would be pretty tough because that guy is like really, really high up. Or there's the guy that's running the local meetup.com events, meetup.com style event. And that person is influenced, right? That person has 50 or 100 people or more that's following him or her. Maybe they have an online course. They've got 50 or 100 people that are following them because they've invested in their course or they're learning more about real estate investing. So anywhere across the spectrum, right? Anywhere from just someone getting started to someone that's running multi-billion-dollar a year business, you choose who you're going to want to go to, right? You can choose who you want to go to. And of course, that was going to require more time and more money to kind of get into that sphere and meeting that person and building that relationship with that person. So yeah, it's going to take some time, and yeah, it's going to take some money because you might want to, go to where they are and maybe spend some money to go to where they are, be present in their environment, things like that, right? So I'm going to put it right here because it requires a significant amount of time because you got to build that relationship. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it does require some follow-up and making sure that you are open and available to get to know them and build that relationship with them, right? So I'm going to put right here, Dream 100, right? So here's the caveat to that is I've got to put the money on the lower side. But like I mentioned, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, these folks are part of really, really, really high level masterminds. I know people like Dean Graziosi spends $50,000, $100,000 for a 1 or 2 day mastermind or 1 or 2 day event, and they're totally okay with that. So if you're comfortable paying that kind of money to rub shoulders with those kind of people and to build those kind of relationships happen at those high level mastermind meetings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the way out here in money, but low on the time is you can go to these mastermind events. And I'm going to put low on time because it really doesn't take you all the time. It's just 1 or 2 days, which, I mean, in grand scheme of things, it's time, but it doesn't take a lot of time to follow up with it and things like that, right? So I'm going to put high level masterminds, or just mastermind is fine. So, because you can, I say high level, but you could choose the level of mastermind you want to go to, right? So if you want to reach out and say, hey, is anyone having a $5,000 mastermind? You're like, okay, I feel comfortable at $5,000. You'll meet other people, business owners, of course, and business owners, investors that are comfortable with a $5,000 investment, right? And that's the thing is, if you guys are on the same level, if you're like, hey, I feel comfortable with the 5,000 investment, you feel comfortable with the 5,000 investment, that's where you guys are, then it's going to resonate better with you and you'll create a better relationship. So if you are okay getting pushed out of your comfort zone, and you're like, hey, I'm going to drop $50,000 on this mastermind and I'm going to meet the best people there. If you're okay getting pushed out of your comfort zone to do that, then that's okay. But if you go and you're like, I'm just going to sit on the wall, I'm not going to be comfortable with this, I'm not going to meet anybody, well, then don't spend $50,000 to go to a mastermind to meet those high level people if you don't feel like you can communicate with them and you don't feel like you're going to get anything out of it. I hope that makes sense, right? So I'm just going to put here mastermind. Now, how do you find these masterminds? Well, they're really all over the place. And the best thing to do is just do a Google search. Better thing to do is to reach out to your community, right? People that you know about and say, hey, I'm considering going to a mastermind. What is, has anyone else spent $5,000 on a mastermind? And if you don't have a network to ask that to, feel free to reach out to me and I will help you find that network with those level of individuals that are comfortable at spending that amount of money that you are, right? And if you're like, hey, Jake, I could spend $100,000 on a mastermind. Okay, then I will help you find that person. I will help you find that mastermind, right? If you're like, hey, I need to get, I need to meet with Tony Robbins, right? I'll show you how to do that, right? Not that I know him personally, but I know how to kind of navigate those things to get to, his private island of where that is, right? And not everyone is at that level. So if you're not at that level, don't feel bad. Because very few people are at that level. Okay, so let's see. All right, so we talked about the Dream 100. I hope that makes sense. So just to kind of follow up on the Dream 100, make sure that you're cultivating that relationship. It's not a simple, hey, I want to sell something to your group. They're going to be like, no. Well, some people might say, okay, right? Hey, I do 50 affiliate, whatever, right? And you can pitch whatever you want to my group. Some people are like that, and some people have they want to build a trusted relationship with somebody before they just let them pay. So it really depends on that person. Let's see what else we have. Facebook pixel retargeting ads, ad roll. We kind of talked about that. That's kind of Facebook ads, ad roll, things like that. What else do we talk about? Landing page, ebook. Those are all kind of in the funnel builds. Direct mail campaign and newsletters. Right. So what I recommend is if you have some money to invest, but not a lot of time, outsourcing your newsletters are great. Right. So I'm going to put right here, outsourcing your newsletter. I'm going to put it here where it requires a little bit more time than the outsource funnel. Because the outsource funnel, you just say, hey, I looked at the funnel, looks good, right? And you just let it run in the background. With newsletters, you have to either add something to the newsletter or review the newsletter on a weekly or monthly basis. So I'm going to go right here, outsource a newsletter. Now, outsourcing a newsletter is a great way of getting new clients because it builds expertise and authority, and it also gets in front of your decision maker very quickly, and also on a very repeatable process, right? So you can send out a leveraged newsletter. You can write one newsletter, send it to 100 people or 1,000 people, and you can do it on a weekly basis. So you're getting in front of that person every single week, which is great, or every month. So it's getting out to them every month, which is good too. So lots of different ways you can do that, right? You can do outsourced. So that outsourced newsletter, that costs a little bit more money. And then we can just do here outsource or direct mail. So put right here, direct mail. And what is a direct mail piece? Well, it's essentially a postcard, right? So you can send out a postcard that says something like, hey, we're going to, let's help you find money on your taxes. Or, hey, you've overpaid your taxes. Here's your free 2020 tax plan, something like that, right? So you can put that on a postcard. Lots of different ways to do that, but essentially that's what we'll do is do direct mail, send out the postcard, and see if we get a response back for it. The best way to do this is if we can get a customized URL for that person. So every single postcard will have a different URL, customized URL on it. And then when that person, when you send that card out, someone gets the card in the mail, they type in that customized URL, and it goes to a landing page specifically for them. It introduces, hey, or it says, hey, enter in your access code. You enter in the access code. Hey, John Smith, right? We've created this custom tax plan just for you. Click here to schedule an appointment so we can deliver it to you. Wow, that's pretty cool, right? So that's pretty simple direct mail. You don't have to worry about the funnel's kind of done for you behind the scenes there. So, but that's not a true funnel, is a like journey. Anyway, you can do a direct mail. I'm gonna put with website. So that's pretty cool. All right. What else do we got? I think I'm running low. Yeah, cold email campaigns. Okay. So cold email campaigns, they don't take a lot of time. They can cost a little bit of money because you've got to create or buy the list and then create the email. So I'm gonna put that right somewhere right here, right? I'm gonna put that right here. Cold email. Now, why would cold email cost a little bit more than the cold Facebook? Well, it does because Facebook is free. You can go onto Facebook and say, hey, I want auto repair, show me auto repair companies near me. And it says, okay, here you go, right? And you just message, message, right? With the cold email, it costs a little bit more money because you have to get a separate software that sends out those cold emails. And it also takes more time because you've got to make sure that you keep the integrity of your email box, right? You don't want to just be sending out cold emails and potentially risk the deliverability of your emails. So that's really, really important, making sure that you're kind of staying in compliance with the cold emails. So actually, I'm going to change this around Because now that I look at this, it takes more time than the Facebook. Well, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna change this here. I'm gonna put Facebook ads over here. Facebook ads, because Facebook ads, you can kind of like set it and forget it. But with cold email, you need to be constantly monitoring that. Well, maybe not constantly, every week or so, I guess, making sure that you have deliverability of your email. So I'm gonna put right here, cold email. Cold email. Awesome. All right. So I hope that makes sense for you, and I hope that kind of gives you an idea of some things you can do. Now that I'm looking at them, I'm really like low up here, but I think if you got time and money, so time and money, you can just outsource the whole thing. All right. So I'm gonna put right here. Oh, actually, let me put it here. You can find, and I'm more than happy to help you out with this. We actually have this program that is a done with you service. So if you're like, hey, I want to know more about marketing, I want to know more about all this stuff that's happening, but I want to know more about it. I want to kind of do it, but I want someone to help me through it or help me do it. So this is what's called done with you. So a done with you service or done with you marketing service. I'll put done with you marketing service. All right. So what this will do is this actually teach you all of this stuff, and we have this program as well. So if you're interested in this done with you marketing, let me know. But essentially, you pay a couple $100 to learn about these things so that you can implement these. So if you have time to implement these, and you also have the money to implement these things, you can fast track your learning, fast track your success with these kind of things by doing the marketing, the done with you marketing. All right. I hope that makes sense. Give me a second here. I'm just trying to look at my board and see if there's anything that I missed. I think that's good. One thing I just want to cover back on the Dream 100 is the Dream 100 is kind of funny because the Dream 100, it could take a lot of time depending on the person that you are meeting with, right? And the relationship that you're building, and it could cost more money. So this Dream 100, I actually kind of like maybe move it to here, right? So this Dream 100 is kind of floating or fluctuating, if you will, right? Floating or fluctuating because it depends on the level of person that you want to meet. Like I said, you can go to these meetup.com events and you can say, hey, who's running this thing? And he's like, hey, my name is Rick. I'm running this thing. You're like, hey, Rick, I want to speak at your event and want to become a trusted expert and advisor to your real estate investors as a real estate investor specific tax savings strategist, right? How can I help you? And they're like, that's great. Like, can you speak next week? And you're like, sounds great, right? So it could be really, really easy. Could be really quick, or it could be someone like, I want to go like Dean Graziosi, and you've got to spend $50,000, $100,000 to get to a mastermind to meet him and rub shoulders with him and to build out the relationship. Cool. Let's see, building a funnel. Cool. All right. I think that's good. I think that makes a lot of sense. So please let me know if you guys have any questions on this, if there's anything you can think about, if there's anything that I missed that makes sense, and anything you want me to cover or anything that I missed on here that you're like, hey, Jake, that belongs somewhere else, or hey, that goes here. Put this in the comments, and thank you so much for watching the whole video all the way through, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.